Good morning. There we are, week 20 done. Less than a month to go. Or into the last month. 3 weeks of training and then a taper week. So less than a month to go now. So, pretty good week last week, I think. I managed to do pretty much every day. Yeah, managed to do every day as planned. So I did a time on feet walking on Monday, but all with elevation gain because I'm now running indoors, which is flat. So the treadmill's up on 15% plus all the time for indoor walking now. So I got 5k in on Monday, that was pretty good. Tuesday then we were down to Adneck and the indoor running. I did a 11k tempo run. I was really surprised myself on that actually. I'm surprised how easy I found to do 6k at, I think it was 550 or something, or average 550. I was really surprised at that. There you go. Wednesday then, full body and core strength training back in here. That was pretty successful as well. I increased the weights like I said previously, so that was good. It's quite funny how I used to dread doing strength training days, but now I really enjoy them. I really look forward to them, which is pretty ironic, really. There you go. Thursday then, I was back down to Adnick again, and it was just an easy run. So it was a 12k easy run. I'm having to base the running on there now down around laps rather than distance because it's easier. Also indoor, of course, GPS doesn't seem to work on the watch. So it's basically all on swing and your cadence and things like that. So it's easier to count the laps, and one lap is 1.53 kilometers or something. So it's easier to do laps, count laps as distance rather than actually working on the watch distance. But this is also why, if you watch my Strava, why everything is now going in manually at the moment, because it's indoor and it doesn't pick up a route in any way at all. So that was Thursday. That was a good successful day. Friday now, as I said previously, I swapped my schedules around a bit. Friday is now a rest day. You'll have to excuse the dogs again. Hey! Anyway, I digress. So, so Friday is a rest day now. That was pretty successful. I then moved into Saturday's long run day, and I went and did 25k. Just managed to get into 25k around Adnick. I was aiming to do a little bit more than that, but it was starting to get really busy. I was down there at 10 to 6 anyway, in the morning. And by the time I finished, it was starting to get really, really busy. I'm going to weave in and out and one thing and another. But yeah, it can't be helped. It's a weekend at the end of the day. But I still managed to get 25k in, which was pretty good. A bit of jeffing went on there, I must admit. I didn't run it all. I did do some walking, and that's also my intention for next week's long run. Is to not run it all, is to treat it like it would be in the Ultra X coming up, and it'll be walking, running, walking, whatever. So that was okay. And then yesterday, I was back next door on the treadmill, did another 5k with sort of 800 odd meters of elevation gain, which was pretty good. So a good week for elevation gain actually. Definitely a good week for elevation gain. So the numbers on the doors from last week, I did manage just over 10k of walking, so it was about 2.25 hours, but like I said, I got 1,560 meters of elevation gain in, which was really, really good for a week. I think going forward, I'm going to aim to get it that sort of elevation gain in every week on the treadmill. I think that's what I need to do as a minimum. Running is 48k running, nearly 5.5 hours with the long run. There was no cycling. I didn't get a chance to go to cycling. So the total for last week was 58k and about 7 hours 40 with 1,560 meters of elevation gain, which brings my total time on feet for this whole training period up to 949.93k. Haven't quite broke the 1,000k yet. Hopefully that'll be this week. 113, just under 114 hours and just over 12,000 meters of elevation gain. That's where we are at present. So moving into week 21, like I said, I've only got 21, 22, 23 and 24 to do.
Fine.
Hey! and then we're working into tapering on the week of the race. So week 21, moving into week 21. I've actually cancelled my runner's subscription. It ran out yesterday, so I didn't bother renewing it. I finally bit the bullet and decided it wasn't for me anymore. I don't want to criticise it too much. It's served a purpose over the last year, and it's fine. So, but I'm moving on from there now. So it's been cancelled, and I have a plan moving forward. So yeah, moving into this weekend, Monday, time on feet walking today on the treadmill, be exactly the same as yesterday, so a good 800 metres of elevation gain. Tuesday's an interesting one. I got 800 metre repeats, so it's like a 2-lap warm up around Adneck, and then 6 repeats of 800 metres at 5:25. That could be interesting to do. That's a fast pace in my books, so that'll be an interesting one to do tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that actually. Wednesday, as normal, back in here with full body and core strength training, and then an easy 6-lap 9k around Adneck again on Thursday. Brings us to a nice recovery day on Friday, and then the long run on Saturday. So this week's long run it's the longest long run of the session, and I'm going to do race simulation. So there's going to be a lot of jeffing going on. I worked out. Basically, it's the start line at CP4. I've worked out where I'm likely to walk and where I will run, and that's exactly how I'm going to base Saturday's run this time. Okay, there's no elevation gain, but it's getting me into the mentality of walking and running at the right times, or what I feel are the right times. So, and then Sunday, we'll just repeat what we do today on the treadmill, get another 800 metres of elevation gain in, which is where we are. So, not long to go now. A few more weeks to go. I think not this week, but next week, I've actually got a 10k race coming up in Yazmal. It's that time of year where we have races in miles. So something a little bit different next week to break up the monotony. It turns out it works out well because it's a deload week anyway. And then also, I think next week is my last weight training. I'll stop the weight training 2 weeks before. Is what I've been advised. So the strength training will be last one will be next week, which works out well as well because when I go to the UK, I'm only going to set 6k belts in the UK, so that works out okay. So that's where we are for this week. Catch you all next week.